COVID-19 is one of the biggest crises of our time. It has impacted every single one of us, shaken our social systems, and disrupted every sector of our economies. The automation of work, combined with the global recession, led workers to lose their jobs at an accelerated pace compared to previous years. And this trend is expected to continue. The ongoing shift in the division of labor between humans, machines, and algorithms might displace 85 million jobs worldwide in the next 5 years, while 97 million new roles, ones that are more adapted to this new task distribution, may emerge. By 2025, companies expect to displace roughly 6% of their total workforce. 1 in 2 workers will need reskilling, and those remaining in their current roles will need to update 40% of their skill set to adapt to the changing labor market. There is a way to collectively benefit from these challenging times. Decades of research have shown that the most valuable asset of any economy or company is its human capital. Around the globe, companies are already experiencing a shortage in relevant skills for future roles and are investing in reskilling and upskilling their workforce. By 2025, organizations say they will train over 70% of their employees to ensure they can smoothly transition into the jobs of tomorrow. These include DevOps engineers, artificial intelligence specialists, digital marketing managers, talent acquisition specialists, and customer success specialists. It will take on average between 2 weeks and 5 months for workers to pick up new skills, allowing them to move into these new roles. But data shows they won't need to have the perfect skill set to start transitioning. While 2/3 of employers expect to get a return on investment in employees' reskilling programs within just 1 year, governments will also need to step in to update and fund education and training systems, and to ensure displaced workers have adequate safety nets. With purposeful leadership and collaboration, we can turn this global crisis into a unique opportunity to transition into a future of jobs that is inclusive, fair, and sustainable.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the special interest group session on cybersecurity. I am Hashim Barak and I'll be your host for the day. I'm joined here with my colleagues, Dr. Arshad Ali, who is the former Executive Director of Higher Education Commission. He is currently the President of SPINN Labs, which is the innovation labs of software productivity strategist. Also joining us here today is Mr. Nouman Abbasi, who heads the cybersecurity group within SPS and currently the Vice President and Chief Technology Architect. Along with Nouman, we have Ahmed Jafar, who is the Academic Outreach Coordinator, and in this role, he helps academia developing skills and finding learning and earning opportunities. The agenda for today's session, before I walk you through that, I'd like to share some of the objectives of this session. This is the 4th in the series of special interest group sessions that were conducted this month. Previously, we had special interest group sessions on artificial intelligence, IoT, cloud, and this one on cybersecurity. Now, the reason we established these special interest group sessions was because with every passing day, we being a technology company are realizing that if we have to build industry solutions, all of the various technology areas are very much interconnected. And just like technology areas, the various aspects of the society, like the academia, the public sector, and the private sector, also need to come together under a single umbrella where they can find those opportunities and share those ideas so that they can work together. Interestingly, based on previous special interest group, we have shared some of those learning and earning opportunities with the academia, which include various certification lead opportunities. Similar to those, Nouman will be sharing some of those latest opportunities with this audience today. Also, one of the goals for these special interest group sessions is to have a core group of people under each of the technology areas so that we can make our country of Pakistan a name that is recognized for those technology areas. For example, अगर हमारे पास cyber security में we have this skill set that is known throughout the world, why can't we beat countries like India, which happens to be our not so friendly neighbor? So The whole idea behind special interest group session is to provide an opportunity for you as individuals who are mostly working in academia. I see that we have a lot of participants from various universities and also from industry come together and work in a collaborative manner. This is the agenda for today's session. A couple of things for the people who are joining us and who are part of us in the last 6 sessions. You will find some repetitions, but it is important that we take all the newcomers along with us so that they do not miss out on anything. Also, we will have a general discussion session at the end of the today's 6 session. So if you have any comments or suggestions, please use that opportunity. The agenda for today is we will like to normally we go through the introduction, but I see that we have a large number of participants today. So what we would do is we would go on to, in the interest of time, we'll start from item number 2, where Dr. Arshad Ali would be sharing the overview of SPINN Labs and Software Productivity Strategies Innovation Lab overall goals, specifically the academic outreach program under which we are running all these initiatives. After that, Nouman Sahab would be speaking on various opportunities that he has to share with academia and the cybersecurity program that can be established at a university. After that, I'll be walking you through the engagement process, and that will be followed up with the general discussion. With this, I'll stop and I'll hand it over to Dr. Arshad Ali, who will give an overview of SPINN Labs.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I am especially thankful to faculty member from NAMAL, from Islamia University Bahawalpur, from IAST, which is the Fakhashule Institute, which some of you might not know that this is the new university which has been established. About 8 billion rupees of worth of infrastructure is being established, and it is already 2 years in operation. So some of the faculty members have joined from there as well. So welcome all the faculty members. Our motto is preparing Pakistani youth for world job market. As you have seen the video, इस वक्त दुनिया में जो जॉब मार्केट है तकरीबन 40% ऑफ द जॉब्स विल बी रिप्लेस्ड बाय द टेक्नोलॉजी. उन 40% में अगर आप देखें क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग में इस वक्त तकरीबन 14 लाख जॉब्स अवेलेबल हैं, और साइबर सिक्योरिटी इतनी परवेसिव हो गई हुई है कि वेदर इट इज हेल्थ, कंस्ट्रक्शन, मिलिट्री डिफेंस. आपने अभी देखा था जिस तरीके से टर्किश ने एडलिब में सीरिया में सरप्राइज दिया है रशिया को. So all these are so amazing. Or cyber security has penetration in every aspect of life. जो ये autonomous cars की हम बात करते हैं, just imagine if there is some malware and वो कहीं पे आगे दीवार है और वो सजेस्ट कर रहा है या आगे स्टॉप है और वो सजेस्ट कर रहा है कि नहीं रास्ता बिल्कुल क्लियर है, यू कैन गो. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स हैपन. सो ऑल दिस इज वेरी वेरी for a youth in Pakistan is very important to understand कि टेक्नोलॉजी किधर जा रही है. और इसमें अगर आप देखें इस वक्त दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा साइबर सिक्योरिटी के एक्सपर्ट इजराइल में, and the startups which are coming from Israel in the cyber security domains, whole world is surprised with that. और आइंदा से ये फिजिकल फोर्सेस अगर आप देखें चाहे टैंक है, जहाज है, इनका मेजर पोर्शन अगेन सॉफ्टवेयर ड्राइव करती है. सो अगेन साइबर सिक्योरिटी बिकम्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट टू इट. इसी तरीके से AI है, IoT है. दैट इज वन ऑफ द रीजन why we were discussing with Hashmat Malik कि हम पाकिस्तान में किस तरीके से इस तरह की अवेयरनेस ला सकते हैं ताकि हम many of you would know कि इस वक्त पाकिस्तान में तकरीबन 30,000 के करीब कंप्यूटर साइंस ग्रेजुएट हो रहे हैं, और इनमें से सिर्फ 2-3 हज़ार हैं जो इंटरेस्टेड होती है। बाकी सबको जिस तरीके से हम तालीम दी जाती है वो ये समझते हैं कि हमने डिग्री लेनी थी, ले ली है, अब हमें कुछ और करना चाहिए। वेयर एज दे हैव वेरी नाइस फाउंडेशन, और अगर वर्ष से वर्ष यूनिवर्सिटी का बच्चा पढ़ा हुआ यूरोप या अमेरिका चला जाए, वो लोग उसको यूजफुल बना लेंगे, लेकिन हम उसी गोल्ड को डस्ट में कन्वर्ट कर देते हैं। सो एज फैकल्टी मेंबर इट इज आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू मेक श्योर कि इन बच्चों के लिए हम अपॉर्चुनिटीज कैसे क्रिएट कर सकते हैं। तो हमारा विजन एंड मिशन है कि टू प्रमोट हाई क्वालिटी स्किल ट्रेनिंग फॉर दी फैकल्टी स्पेशली, ताकि आके वो स्टूडेंट्स को गाइड कर सकें। और ऑब्वियसली अगर वो ड्यूरिंग studies they will get the certifications and skills, they will become most sought after as far as industry is concerned. So we want to create pool of competent resources, उसमें जो SPS अपॉर्चुनिटी क्रिएट कर सकेगी उनके लिए SPS उनको यूज कर सकती है, अदरवाइज दे कैन गेट इन्वॉल्व्ड इन एनी प्रोजेक्ट्स ऑफ देयर लाइकिंग। कोई नई कंपनी बिल्ड करनी है, एंड बिकॉज SPS is based in US, and we have quite strong connection with expats community, so we are also building a community where we will help the startups to look for venture funding or startup grants etc. So उसकी भी हम कोशिश करेंगे कि वो opportunities भी हो सके. So as far as SPS itself is concerned, जो के which is moving this whole initiative, they are in the business of building secure industry solution. और जब हम सिक्योर की बात करते हैं तो ऑब्वियसली इट इन्वॉल्व्स मेजर कंपोनेंट ऑफ साइबर सिक्योरिटी, एंड देन यूटिलाइजिंग IoT, AI, क्लाउड. सो यू कैन सी कि जो सिक्योरिटी है इट इज द अंडरलाइंग टेक्नोलॉजी, नो मैटर यू आर इनटू AI, IoT, क्लाउड और एनी अदर बिजनेस, लेकिन सिक्योरिटी हैज टू बी देयर. और जब हम इन सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज को देखते हैं, सो जो हमारी यूथ है उनको जिस तरीके से तरबियत दी जाती है, वो दे आर मोस्टली यू नो अपने इनिशिएटिव लेने में दे आर वेरी स्लो. सो इसलिए बहुत ज़रूरी है कि वो लोग इनिशिएटिव ले सकें, और उस इनिशिएटिव लेने के लिए जो लीडरशिप है, that becomes very, very important. So that is why we need leaders who can be part of this whole initiative. Or we will have opportunities for all the available biggest platforms, Microsoft है, Red Hat है, Trend Micro है, you imagine, and the technology is there because SPS is already building products using these platforms. और चूंकि SPS is using these platforms, so they have the access to these platform, और इनकी जो certification otherwise $400-500 cost करती है, that will be freely available to all the participants, whether they are faculty or the students, to benefit from these opportunities. So this is one of the example, जो एक chatbot solution है जो कि higher education के लिए build हुआ है. Although it is just a chatbot, लेकिन इसकी जो technologies use हुई हैं, it uses artificial intelligence, API integration, conversational analytics, machine learning, So, although on a solution simply looks like a chatbot, हमारे यहाँ पे जो chatbot build करते हैं, they only have a limited interaction, और वो समझते हैं कि we have built a solution. लेकिन जो solution होता है, it encompasses every aspects of the needs of the customer. That is where all these technologies come in. So we will try to provide opportunities in terms of mentoring, guidance, advisory, चाहे वो फाइनल ईयर के प्रोजेक्ट्स हों, कोई इंडस्ट्री के प्रॉब्लम्स हों, so we are there to help, and we would look forward help from all the faculty members who are present here and who are not even present here, कि ये एक मूवमेंट है, और ये मूवमेंट हम पाकिस्तान की यूथ के लिए ये मूवमेंट चला रहे हैं, और we must remember कि जो हमारी यूथ है ये हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. Nobody else outside Pakistan will ever come to see कि पाकिस्तान के क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं और इनको कैसे हेल्प करना है, until and unless we ourselves are willing to take charge of these problems and explore solutions. So I look forward to very active participation from the faculty and students. I'm sure ये हम सब के लिए एक बड़ी opportunity होगी. Thank you very much. Over to Hashim.
With this, we'll move on to the next part of our agenda. One thing that I wanted to share with the audience as to why cybersecurity matters. As Dr. Saab rightly elaborated, the 8.5 million jobs opportunity is so huge that us as SPS, that you as individuals in academia, or maybe academia as a whole, they would not be able to fulfill these jobs if we really want to take ownership or take the value out of this opportunity. So जिस तरह डॉक्टर साहब बता रहे थे, it is very important कि we work together and we find those opportunities and then find the value in those opportunities. Why it is important? Some of the breaches which are really huge in the last couple of years, I just wanted to touch upon those for a few seconds. एक ऑफिस ऑफ पर्सनल मैनेजमेंट है, ये अमेरिका में जैसे पाकिस्तान में there's bureaucracy, तो office of personal management is like that federal department which manages the whole civilian workforce in United States. This was breached in 2013 and millions of records were leaked. Just imagine कि आपका पीछे एक डिफेंस रह गया है तो आपकी पूरी सिविलियन वर्कफोर्स का डेटा ब्रीच हो गया था. Similarly, not just the files, it has a real sort of impact on utilities when we saw that in Ukraine about a year or so after that, जहाँ पे उनकी capital की the whole power grid was shut down and hundreds of thousands of people were left without power, and that was through a cyber attack. Bangladesh में a few years ago we saw that के through a printer, मतलब just imagine कि out of all the devices they were able to use a printer to siphon off I think $80+ million through Bangladesh bank. और फिर हमने इसी तरह मिज़ान बैंक में देखा था 2019-18 में कि जो breaches हुई थी within Pakistan. This whole significance of cybersecurity then points us to the direction के how we can tackle this sort of madness going on in cybersecurity, and the real premise when you want to approach this question is that we have to find everything as vulnerable, because unless we look at everything as being vulnerable, we would not be able to stay ahead of the cybersecurity breaches. So with this, I'll stop and I'll hand it over to Nouman Abbasi. Nouman Abbasi is our vice president. He has been working with us for more than a decade now, and he is leading the cybersecurity practice for SPS from our US office based in Maryland. Nouman sir, over to you.
Welcome to everyone. I am Nouman Abbasi, and I'm running the cybersecurity group at SPS. I want to thank Hashim and Dr. Arshad for giving me the opportunity to speak to this audience. My objective today will be to introduce cybersecurity program with, and then share some personal professional development and money-making opportunities with all of you. To achieve that objective, my agenda will be to first of all go over cybersecurity in general, and what is it that we do as SPS in cybersecurity, and then share some learning and earning opportunities with you. I'll take about 25 to 30 minutes, and I hope I'll achieve these agenda items by the end of this session. So let's talk about what is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a huge problem in today's world. There are so many challenges, and the workforce is less than what it should be. But cybersecurity is simply making your assets secure and protected against threats and vulnerabilities. Now, what are our assets? If you look at it from different types of assets, there are really 6 categories that define those assets. The first one is users, which are people like you and me, people who are accessing the applications or services over some kind of network using their endpoints. And these days, endpoints are like all kinds of endpoints. It could be your cell phone, it could be your tablet, it could be your laptop, or it could even be your car. So there are all kinds of endpoints out there, and you use different kinds of networks to access certain applications running on servers. And these servers could be sitting somewhere in a data center in Singapore, or it could be somewhere else in the cloud. So all over the map. And these applications have data behind it, which is at the heart of what we are trying to protect. So with all these assets and all these scenarios, the cybersecurity becomes a challenge, and some of the best practices in the industry and the industry standards are to first of all identify those assets, like who are the users, what are the endpoints, what networks are they using, what data are they accessing using what application and services, so on and so forth. So once you have identified those assets, you protect them. And there are hundreds, if not thousands, of tools to protect those different types of assets. There are many user protection tools, there are many network protection tools, application security tools, and so on and so forth. Now, once you have protected those assets, you monitor activity going on into those assets. What are your users doing? What are they accessing? What networks are they using? Are their endpoints secure? Are they seeing and accessing data that they are authorized to access? So that is the detect part. And in the detect part, you monitor all kinds of traffic and flag the anomalies. But if you do find an anomaly, you respond to it. And the way you respond to it is you could define a workflow on, if this happens, this is what we do to respond to a threat or an anomaly, and then you recover from it. So with that as a framework, we look at cybersecurity in that aspect and try to protect our assets. So that is cybersecurity. Now at SPS, we take a holistic view of security. We start security right at the time our AI teams are developing the solutions. How you develop an application or a solution is where security starts. So we work with the AI teams and see what they're doing and try to secure the way they develop the code. Once a code or an application is developed, it is hosted on some kind of infrastructure. It could be on-prem, it could be on cloud, it could be on multi-cloud. So we secure the infrastructure so the application is accessible to the users, but in a secure manner. And then once it's operational, once it goes into production, our operations and support teams would support the application on an ongoing basis. So here at SPS, we categorize security into different practices. Some of them are protection practices, which is digital trust. Then we have detection practice, which is threat management. We have a tool that we use to set up a cybersecurity program. I'll be talking about it in a little bit more detail in the slides to come. We call it Cognitive Security Manager, or CSM. And then there are certain other products from different vendors that we use as tools to help our customers secure their assets. In the nutshell, we build secure industry solutions leveraging AI and cloud. My group obviously is focused on security, so we focus on the secure part. So all the solutions that we build, we secure them for production use. Now, moving on to some of the learning and learning opportunities for you all, I had some ideas. The first one is to help you set up a cybersecurity program in your university. So, and that will give you a holistic view of what does it mean and how does it work in your own university or your own organization. And then we'll talk about some final year project options and support we can provide you. To set up a cybersecurity program in your university, what we would like to provide is our cognitive security manager, which is a tool that will help you set up a cybersecurity program. And remember when I said security is all about detect, protect, respond, and recovering from these events that come into your organization and going on all the time. This platform is designed to adopt that framework for your organization or your university. So I would strongly encourage you to sign up for this platform. Instructions to sign up will be made available on the SPINN Labs website. Uh, this tool will give you a holistic view of where do you start. Further, you start with identifying what is all that you have in your organization, which is the identify part, and then how do you protect them? How do you detect, respond, and recover? So it will guide you through that process of setting up a cybersecurity program at your university. And this obviously this tool is designed to take into consideration all the best practices and standards like NIST, the NIST cybersecurity framework to give you the opportunity to set it up for your own organization. The second way you could learn is to set up a security operations center using a SIM tool or like QRadar. Uh, QRadar is a security information and events management tool. It's an IBM tool. It helps you monitor activities and falls into the detect part of the framework. And it helps you, and it monitors activities using logs and flows that come out of all the assets. So if a user was logging into an application, it will collect the logs on where the user is coming from, the device they're using, the network they came in from, the service that they accessed, at what time, when, and where. Now, when you have all the assets, when you're collecting all the logs from these number of assets, from users to endpoints to servers and applications, you have now a central console to monitor what's going on. And this tool is designed and optimized for current threats. And it will flag the events that the tool believes that are suspicious. Your SOC will be monitoring those events and will use this tool to investigate investigate the offenses and respond and create trouble tickets and notify the stakeholders, hey, this is what we saw happening on this certain asset at this time, and then manage that incident or escalate it as and when appropriate. So that's QRadar. Well, QRadar, like I said, is really an IBM tool, IBM SIM tool. There are other tools as well, but this is one of the most used tools for SIM systems for log management and monitoring. One of the other ways you can learn is to set up a cyber range in your university. Now this could be very interesting because this is really hands-on, and a lot of people like to be practical, be hands-on, and see how does it work. So once you set up a cybersecurity program, this is where you can apply it. This is by definition a simulation of a real world scenario into your own virtualized network or an isolated network in your organization, where you can see what if this happens, how do we respond, and you create teams like red and blue teams. Red team would be an offender or an attacker. Blue team would be the defender. So the red team would use the ethical hacking techniques to exploit a system. A blue team would then respond and defend, and you can create and you can create those scenarios in this environment to see what would you do if this would happen in real life. So we at SPS can provide you the use cases and scenarios that you could use, or the topics that you can work on, and set up a cyber range in your own university to go around and practice this by yourself. So to set this up, we can provide the training materials. We will schedule monthly enablement sessions. And maybe later this year, we can set up a cyber competition between the red teams and the blue teams. And it'll be very interesting, and it'll give you an actual experience on how these things transpire in the real world. And this will prepare you for your future career. Now, let's talk about final year projects. I know a lot of you will be going into your final year soon, and you must be thinking about choosing the final year project. Well, in the cybersecurity space, well, first of all, I did some research on what are the best ways to choose your project, right? So what I found out was, first of all, the project has to be from your area of interest. Okay, so I mean, if you like database security, go for it. If you like, the user security, application security, there's plenty of areas that all the 6 categories, and within those categories, there are areas that might be of interest to you. So select the topic, and then do some research and find out what are the bigger problems in that area and what could be the solution. And we will be happy to discuss those problems with you and the solutions that are out for you. And cybersecurity and these areas are so critical these days that if you take one problem and come up with a solution, you could build a career or a business out of it. Okay, so selecting that problem, first of all, selecting your area of interest, finding the problems that people or organizations face in today's world, and coming up with a solution that matches your skill set of yourself and your team members is the key. And then with all the resources, and we'll be happy to help you help provide those resources to you. You pick up the project, and the most important part is your final year project has to be futuristic. We want to select a technology that is here to stay, at least for the next 10, 15 years. And so when you do your final year project, you are ready to go into the market with that technology and make a difference. So some of the ways we can help you is we will provide you the baseline domain knowledge. So if you chose application security, we'll help you with the domain knowledge on what is application security, what does it cover. And there are hundreds, if not thousands, of technology providers, but we like to get started with IBM. And we'll provide you the technology or the tools that you can use to get started, like IBM's QRadar. That's a security information and event management tool. And this will help you start, give you the visibility into the security of your organization. But from a futuristic point of view, there's certain challenges, or one of the biggest challenges in security is, consolidating all the data that comes out of, or all the alerts and notifications and threat information and vulnerabilities that come out of so many tools out there. And I'll talk about it a little bit in more detail in the next slide. Now, keeping that challenge in mind, the world is moving towards a standardized approach to consolidate the security information, and they're coming up with a protocol that will allow information exchange between different vendors, so you get better visibility. And then, of course, we'll support you in your choice of final year projects in the cybersecurity space by mentoring you. We'll have these monthly sessions. We'll discuss we'll answer your questions, and we'll guide you through the process. Besides IBM, there are many other tools, many other vendors and technology providers that you can look at. It doesn't have to be IBM, but IBM just happens to be one of the few ones that cover the entire 6 categories of security, like user, applications, networks, and data. So now let's talk about the futuristic, some of the areas of growth and futuristic technologies that are coming together. Like I said, there's just too many tools out there to respond to or to address so many problems. So there are threats and vulnerabilities coming out every day. It just keeps growing. And to address them or to protect or guard against them, you have just too many vendors providing too many tools to address them. Now, these are all great tools. They're doing what they're supposed to do, but there are just too many of them. In a typical organization, you'll see there are about 40 to 60 tools, security tools, to address different kinds of problems. There are tools to secure users. There are tools to secure data. There are different kinds of data that have different kind of vendors. But with all those tools, your overall security becomes too much complex because you're getting different kinds of insights from these different tools coming in. And to get those insights and transform them into practical or actionable insights that the actions you can take to actually protect your environment becomes too complex. There are different people involved, there are different dashboards involved, there are different kinds of data and different types of formats involved. And these are alerts coming in left and right, and it's getting out of control and it almost, in some cases, impossible to keep up with. Now, to address this problem, the OCA, along with different big vendors, have come up with a standard protocol of security information or threat information exchange. They call it the STIX, Security Threat Information Exchange. Now, what STIX does is it provides you a standard way of accessing information or receiving information from different vendors. So you can consolidate that information into actionable insights. So STIX and TAXI. STIX is really a language for modeling and representing cyber threat intelligence. So of all the vendors, all the security vendors, most of the bigger vendors are already adopting and supporting STIX protocol. But going forward in the next couple of years, you will see that all the security vendors will have to support STIX platform. So getting up to speed with STIX and TAXI would be a key. Would be something that will become even bigger in the coming years. So you may want to keep that in mind. The way STIX works is like when you want to inquire or set up a query, and from different platforms, you set up a query, it gets translated into the backend vendor language, and the query is sent to different data sources like different vendors, AWS, Splunk, Carbon Black. These are just a few of them. There are hundreds, if not thousands, other vendors. And the information is then returned back into in the STIX protocol, and you get the results in one format. So it's normalized results. It's not like AWS has its own way of exchanging information, and then Splunk has a different API and stuff. No. So this protocol will consolidate or normalize your threat information exchange. Now that's a huge opportunity for us, for you. You could become an expert, or you could learn STIX, so you could help exchange that information. And there are different platforms. I'll be talking about one of the platforms, which is an IBM platform, that you could use STIX to get that information and bring out data from these different backend vendors or tools and normalize it. Or you could become a connector, or you could write connectors. You could be writing STIX connectors to these different vendors and incorporating it into different platforms. So either way, the opportunity is huge. This is new. This is here to stay. This will be a global standard. So this is you may want to consider this. One of the platforms that uses STIX is IBM Cloud Pak for security. Now this uses STIX protocol to access SIEM tools, endpoint detection and response tools, different cloud providers, database protection, and all of that. So it uses the STIX protocols to collect security and threat information from these tools and bring it up to a dashboard where organizations have visibility into what are the threats out there, and you have case management, you have all kinds of insights into what's going on into your environment without going into each tool and collecting the reports and information that comes out of that tool, those tools. Now, if you now getting up to speed with a platform like IBM Cloud Pak for Security, or ICP4S as we call it, would enable you to start your sticks experience or hands-on on sticks. You could write applications like you can see on the top. There are different applications that you can write on this platform, and the data that you need for these applications could be retrieved using sticks, or you could write connectors to the backend tools. So this is one of the platforms that you could look into. Now let's talk about earning opportunities with SPS. There are really two tracks that you could take. The first one is become certified in one of these security products, and you will find more information on certifications on the SPINN Labs website. Okay, so first of all, if you may want to visit the SPINN Labs website to look at the learning opportunities, and you will see different certifications available. I would encourage you to look into these different certification for different products, and based on your interest, try to get a certification in these products. And these certifications on your profile will look great and will help you with your career in the future. So that's one track, and we can share more details on what certifications and incentives we have for certifications in our monthly meetups. Now, the other opportunity, which is course development, will allow you to create course content or training materials for a cyber range. So if you go to earning opportunities, these are the current topics that we have for course development. And as you're developing these courses, you'll be exposed to different scenarios in different topics that are listed here. And this will help you set up your cyber range, but you will have in-depth knowledge of what each one of these topics mean. For example, if we talk about ethical hacking, if you look at the courses, these are scenarios from, and these are real-life scenarios. So as any course, this could be either a lecture or a lab, or both of them in some cases. But it provides you those scenarios that we'll be willing to compensate you for if you set up a course on these topics. So if you chose ethical hacking, these are the course topics, the networking, ethical methodology and mindset. And notice it has a very brief description of what is it that the students should be able to achieve by the end of this topic. And then, of course, it has duration of this module. So it's a 2 hours lecture. And in this lecture, this is what we are trying to achieve. And some of the tools that you can use for these to achieve these objectives are crossed out here. So you could use Kali Linux to create course content or a lecture for this topic that's supposed to be a 2 hours module. So these are a long list of topics here. But what this will do for you as your professional development is it will give you in-depth insights into what are all the scenarios out there. Like I said, these are, if you're a part of ethical hacking, you're really a red team. When you and you could literally take this course material and apply it in your own university if you set up a cyber range, and your red team is using ethical hacking techniques to exploit a system, and then your blue teams are responding to it, they're defending it, they're monitoring it, and recovering from it. So each one of these topics have each one of these courses will have topics underneath them that will give you insights into what we are trying to achieve with these courses. And if you're interested, we'll be happy to share more details with you on these courses and how you can make money helping us create these courses. So in the end, I think I hope I've achieved the objective of introducing the cybersecurity program with you. and some of the learning and earning opportunities. Again, we'll be having a monthly meetups, I think on first Tuesdays of the month. And we'll be happy to share more details or answer any questions that you have. With this, I'd like to turn it back to Hashim. Hashim, thank you.
One which Nouman Abbasi shared was the opportunity to develop courses, and the way we have thought about it so far is we'll have these courses available. The outline of these courses are available on our website, as Nouman showed, and you can. What you can do is, as somebody in academia, of course, you can always use them to do the red team and blue team capture the flag events in your university. This would be a really nice sort of a guide to you. Also, what we are looking for are, if you're interested in developing courses around those individual topics, we welcome proposals on each of those topics. You can always send us your proposals at spinnlabs@spsnet.com. The email address is mentioned at the bottom of this slide. If you want to take a look at the outline that Nouman shared, you can always go to our website, and at the home page you will have to click on the cybersecurity track. As you can see, we have 4 tracks right now: AI, IoT, and cloud. So in cybersecurity, these are listed here, and all the outlines that Nouman showed you. One few things that I wanted to touch upon, especially for the new participants in this 6th session. We are running this academic outreach program, and our goal is to develop those critical technology skills that are not just relevant for us as a commercial enterprise, but are also very relevant for you as somebody who's going to be entering in the workforce in coming few years. Now, this is especially relevant for the students. Just imagine if you can develop these skills, for example, the cloud pack for security, and before graduation, and right out of the gate, you will have those rich employable skills in your resume that employers across the world are looking right now. So, for example, as a student or as a faculty, you can go to the website, explore these different tracks. And as I mentioned at the start of the talk, we have run a couple of special interest group sessions already this month. So you will be able to find the content of those 6 sessions under these slide buttons. Also, we have made the recordings available, and any future sessions will have their content uploaded here. The recording and the content of this session will also be made available in the cybersecurity track. Other thing that you will find in each of these tracks are the learning opportunities. Just like Nouman showed the cybersecurity opportunities, we have currently open opportunities in each of the other tracks. In AI, these are architect, developer, administrator, and then in automation, there are also certification lead opportunities available. Similarly, in cloud track, you will find learning opportunities. And similarly, in IoT, there are also learning opportunities which have the potential of earning as well available. I'll speak a bit to this certification lead opportunity. In this role, what we're looking for are those individuals who can really take a leadership in training and coaching other individuals. In the process, they also get to have themselves certified in a particular technology area. So, for example, if you are interested in IoT, which we spoke on in the last 6 session, and you're interested in becoming a solution architect using Watson's IoT platform, what you can do is you can come here and apply. And if you can remember, these are placement opportunities. So these are as available. You will be working in your university as a student or a faculty, and you can, based on your time availability and interest, you can come and start working towards certification lead. There is a 90-day time limit in which we expect you to train and coach a number of other students and faculty, as well as yourself, to become a certified individual in that technology area. There's also some monetary compensation associated with this, which is listed here in the job description. Another thing that I wanted to speak to is how you can get affiliated with us if you are interested. Let's say you went to the AI track and you found those things interesting and you want to get in touch with us. One is, of course, the certification lead application form. Another thing that you can do is, if you're not really sure at this point, you can always submit this faculty affiliate form available here. and also the student affiliate form based on the role that you have. And what that will do is that will allow us to keep in touch with you and share with you the interesting opportunities that we come across as a commercial enterprise regularly. We share the events and various other opportunities regularly with the audience. Uh, in case you have any questions, you can always ping me or reach out to Jafar, or always send us an email at spinlabs@spsnet.com. Uh, this third agenda item that you see here, faculty and student tracks. Uh, so what would be a question that is often gets asked is, what is the future potential if we get affiliated in this academic outreach program? So for example, if you affiliate with us as a faculty affiliate or a student affiliate, you will have the potential of some full-time positions based on your availability and interest. If you join us as a faculty affiliate, there's always a possibility that you can move on to become a faculty consultant, where you will be working in your university, and on an as available basis, you can avail the project outsourcing opportunities. As a student, what you can begin with as a student affiliate, and then you can move on to become a student intern or a student associate, or even you can apply on a different position that are available on our website. In the next 6 sessions, we'll be following up on some of the activities or some of the opportunities shared here. Also, after this session, we'll be sharing some of the events that are happening across the globe through different technology providers, just like IBM that this session was focused on. We'll be focusing on different other technology providers in coming 6 sessions. And also we'll be having one individual speak on a specific area of interest related to that technology. The next session on cybersecurity is, of course, 4 weeks away, but we do have the next week coming up, the artificial intelligence special interest group session. We have Dr. Nabil, who is going to speak about use of AI in healthcare. Similarly, after that, we have Cloud 6 session. The week after that, on each Thursday, in that session, we will be sharing about AWS Educate portfolio, how you can use AWS cloud offerings and educate yourself, your fellow colleagues, and faculty and other students. So these are some of the things that we are doing in these 6 sessions. With this, I think. Another thing that I have in my notes is actually will be these all of these special interest group sessions are happening on each Thursday around 5:30 p.m. But just like Nouman mentioned, we have a SOC group session that is scheduled to meet on each Tuesday. So if you are interested in what Nouman shared with you, if you're interested in establishing a security operations center at your university, let's say using IBM QRadar, you can always join that SOC group session. And if you're interested, send me an email and we'll share the invites with you. With this, I think I'll stop, and we can move on to the general discussion session. So if any one of you have any comments, any suggestions, you are more than welcome to unmute yourself and share with the audience.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Mudassir Aslam, Dr. Mudassir. I am faculty member at FAST, Islamabad. जो आपकी presentation थी नमान साहब की, that was quite good. और मेरा experience रहा है थोड़ा cyber range के साथ. I was working in Sweden, तो cyber range establish करने में उसके अंदर काफी involved रहा मैं. So it was very interesting to see कि इसके ऊपर किसी ने बात की और प्रैक्टिकल चीजें हैं. लेकिन ऑन द अदर हैंड जो हमारे जाफरी साहब ने पॉइंट रेज किया, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एज वेल कि कौन जैसे आपने सर्टिफिकेशन के डिफरेंट ट्रैक्स इंट्रोड्यूस करवाए स्टूडेंट्स के लिए भी, फैकल्टी के लिए भी. साइबर रेंज की आपने बात की, क्यूरेडोर की बात की. अब ये सारे जैसे जो प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, मेरे जहन में तो एक क्वेश्चन इमीडिएटली ये आ रहा था कि हम ये कमर्शियल प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, हम इनकी एक्सेस साइबर रेंज है तो साइबर रेंज ओपन साइबर रेंज का कोई मॉडल आपके पास मौजूद है? क्योंकि स्वीडन में तो हम जिस पे काम करते दैट वाज परचेज्ड, तो उसकी ठीक ठाक एक्सपेंसिव कॉस्ट होती है. ओपन साइबर रेंजेस भी मेरे ख्याल में ईयू की कोई आई डोंट रिमेंबर द नेम, लेकिन अवेलेबल है. लेकिन आपके पास क्या इस तरह की कोई ऑप्शन होगी जो यूनिवर्सिटीज को, क्योंकि इसको सेटअप करने में भी काफी टाइम लगेगा, इट्स नॉट एन इजी प्रोसेस. इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर चाहिए, वो कैसे हम अप्रूव करवाएंगे, किस फंडिंग के तहत आएगा, देयर आर मेनी क्वेश्चंस। सिर्फ एक मुझे जो चीज नजर आ रही थी कि व्हाट वी कैन डू इज व्हाट आई एम डूइंग राइट नाउ एज वेल, आई एम टीचिंग क्लाउड सिक्योरिटी इन माय यूनिवर्सिटी, और इस वक्त जो मैं सिलेबस फॉलो कर रहा हूँ वो क्लाउड सिक्योरिटी अलायंस की जो सिक्योरिटी CCS के सर्टिफिकेशन है उसका फॉलो कर रहा हूँ, बिकॉज दैट इज वेरी क्वाइट कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव एंड दैट इज independent of any particular vendor. लेकिन that is one aspect. ऑब्जेक्टिव जो मेरा है, जो थोड़ा सा अलाइन हो रहा है आपकी इस प्रेजेंटेशन के साथ, वो ये बनता है कि चूंकि मैं स्टूडेंट्स को वो एक ऑफ कोर्स नॉलेज तो उनको मिल रहा है, और मैं उनको इनकरेज कर रहा हूँ कि दे आफ्टर डूइंग दिस कोर्स दे शुड गो फॉर सर्टिफिकेशन, और वो सर्टिफिकेशन होगी तो दे विल हैव वेरी गुड प्लेसमेंट इन द मार्केट। लेकिन अभी स्टूडेंट्स से जब मैं ये बात करता हूँ तो देन दे से कि ओके सर्टिफिकेशन की कॉस्ट है, बहुत से स्टूडेंट्स अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते, तो वो कौन बेयर करेगा। अब उसके लिए CSA का जो प्लेटफॉर्म है उसके ऊपर भी हम स्टूडेंट्स के लिए रिबेट ले सकते हैं, नहीं ले सकते, देयर आर मेनी क्वेश्चंस। सो इसी बैकग्राउंड के साथ आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क कि will we have if we hear about IBM QRadar certifications for example, so this is possible I think कि कोर्स के कंटेंट्स में जैसे फास्ट में हमारे पास साइबर सिक्योरिटी का अंडरग्रेड प्रोग्राम में एग्जिस्ट करता है, सो वी हैव प्लेंटी ऑफ रूम फॉर टीचिंग दो स्टूडेंट्स और ट्रेनिंग दो स्टूडेंट्स। अभी तो वो लेटर सेमेस्टर्स में नहीं पहुंचे, लेकिन वी हैव टाइम के हम उनके लिए इस तरह के सिलेबसेस डिजाइन करें, ट्रेन करें, लेकिन उसके लिए फैकल्टी को भी ऑफ कोर्स तैयार होना पड़ेगा, उसका टाइम कैसे मैनेज होगा, दीज आर द क्वेश्चन। लेकिन मेरा फाइनल कमेंट ये है, ये तो थोड़े से थॉट्स शेयर की कि आई वुड बी वेरी इंटरेस्टेड टू वर्क विद दिस SPS program, or hopefully that would be useful for the students as well.
Thank you, Dr. Mudassir. So you've made a couple of really good points here. I'll try to answer as many as I can. First of all, this is really interesting. जो आपने बताया कि you have worked on establishing cyber range in Sweden. I think Nouman Abbasi. I would like to set up a session of yours with Nouman Sab whenever you are available. As to your point of regarding availability of resources for students and faculty, this is a very well made point. Each of these technology vendors do provide. They have specific programs for academia. For example, AWS has AWS Educate, and IBM has its initiative called Academic Initiative Program. Under this program, this is, by the way, available. FAST is listed as an accredited institution under that program. So there are resources available, including those in the domain of cybersecurity. I can certainly वो मैं आपके साथ share कर सकता हूँ, after this call. As to your point on encouraging students and how can students pay for those certifications, so the way जो Nouman ने आपके साथ share किया, the certification lead opportunities are paid opportunities. SPS will pay for the certifications of the students, and if somebody is they want to be the certification lead, they get an additional incentive because they are going to train and coach other students. So this is another thing that we can speak after this session. As to your question about are there any open cyber ranges, Nouman sir, would you care to answer this question right now, or we can have a call with Dr. Mudassir after this session, because we are right now 4 minutes over our session time.
For us to have a dedicated session on this. I'm loving the ideas and comments coming in, so I think this requires a little more detailed discussion than the time we have right now.
Certainly. Okay.
If that's okay with you.
Nouman sir, certainly we can schedule another session, and with yours with Jafri Saab and Dr. Mudassir, and of course if anybody else is interested, so you are more than welcome to ping me at any time. Thank you everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules. All of you who have submitted the faculty affiliate and student affiliate forms, you will be receiving the invites for those sessions. So those of you who have not submitted the form, I will encourage you to submit those forms. It allows us to get in touch with you. And of course, if you want to share this with your fellow colleagues, faculty or other affiliate or other students, just let them share the links with them also. With this, we can wrap this session. Again, thank you very much. Thank you, Jafri Shah. Thank you, Dr. Mudassir, and thank you all of the participants. Look forward to seeing you in the next session on AI next week.